Alright, what's up guys? Jake here with some more art content for you guys. I was just gonna sketch an AK-74. I have one here for visual references, but I'm not gonna be like super particular about detail here. I'm just kind of sketching and figured I'd record the process with you guys. I'm just using a 6B pencil in Procreate, and this is an iPad Pro. Just starting with the barrel because I feel like it's kind of the easiest thing to start with. It's just straight lines, you know. So one of the main things you guys should really focus on is not getting obsessed with like getting something perfect. I mean, I could spend a lot of time making sure all the proportions of this bayonet lug is, you know, exact. But if I was to obsess over something like that, which, let's be honest, as artists, we tend to obsess very easily. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But sometimes you kind of just have to... It's almost like a level of anxiety. Maybe just that I have, but I'm trying to get away from doing this. Because it's not good. It's not good for your health, your stress, your blood pressure. It's just, you know, if we wanted a perfect picture, I guess we could just take a photograph, right? Right, guys? But this is more hobby. Like, we're doing this for fun. So when I stress out about making something too perfect, it really gets to me. Usually I have to map this drawing out way more than kind of how I'm starting right into detail. But I feel like I'm kind of in the zone enough, I guess you could say. I just feel prepared where I could probably just get away with start drawing wherever I want. So I keep drawing some of these lines curved. And I'm trying to draw just like a side profile picture, you know? But because I keep looking at my gun here, I'm kind of trying to replicate the angles that I'm looking at. So that's kind of weird that I keep doing that. That's a good technique though to like really practice, guys, is look at something and then draw it in a different perspective. So it's here, the details here that I could observe, but it's at a different perspective than what I'm drawing. And that's kind of a very helpful ability. Any of you that don't know, double tapping on the pen actually switches pencil to eraser, which is also very helpful tip. So one of the coolest things about the AK-74 is the muzzle brake. it's not fun to shoot because all those gases and sounds are clapping back in your face. So it's kind of a concussive rifle. But, I mean, that just looks badass. And it does mitigate recoil quite a bit for an AK platform. My rifle is actually a wz88 Tonto, so it's a Polish AK-47 pretty much, which were different because they actually had a safety selector on the left side as well as the right side, and it had 3-round burst. All those aren't functional on my rifle, obviously, being a civilian. So now that I started this, I'm starting to get a grasp of my proportions here. So how I'm doing that is, like, I drew this section of the flash hider. So I'll use that as a tool to calibrate the rest of the proportions or something, you know? So the next section would be just the straight barrel, and then it starts getting into the gas tube. So I'm going to relate this part right here. Just select some, it's not specific, but I mean, select a part that you drew and then relate that. So this part right here, that large. Now comparing that to what I'm visually seeing, it looks like maybe 1.5 of those. So, you know, you got 1 and then a half. And you're not gonna, that's not gonna be exact, you know, but that's a little tip. Yeah, to me that looks kind of correct. So this might be a long video, guys, so I'm gonna probably make it into parts. So these are the pins that are for the gas tube. I think I am going to just kind of give myself some kind of visual aid here. So I kind of want to just maintain going straight, especially since I'm started at one end and kind of moving to the other end, which is probably not the best way to do this, but kind of how I felt like I would get interested, because I think the front of the AK-74 is the coolest part of it. So it's kind of getting me fired up just drawing. Could always come back and touch it up. Something like that. You know, I'm just getting the overall shape of the thing. I'm not like shading anything or anything. But yeah, so now I'm gonna pretty much use this section here and kind of base my hand grip here. It's proportion size off of this, which is pretty similar. I feel like it's really coming along here. And I need more room to draw, so I'm gonna select my entire image, which I don't even think you need to circle it. I think you could just use the select tool. And I'm gonna hit uniform because I don't want to distort the image. I just want to shrink it down. And now we have more space. What's really cool about the AK is like, it's so basic, but it's so cool because it's like every little thing, every little detail is for a purpose. Like all these ridges and just the safety selector is for a purpose, you know, is to add rigidity to like just this piece of sheet metal. It's kind of it's very cool engineering. You can see why this design has been used for 100 years. I really wanted to build an AK, but because I've built ARs and it's kind of a cool process building your own rifle, but all these rivets is the problem, because you could buy receivers, and they're stamped out already. But that's technically the firearm that you have to buy through a dealer. But you really need some machine tools in order to get these rivets in place. Whereas the AR, it's like all held together with pins and stuff, but and screws. But, most of the receivers milled out. This thing's stamped together, so it requires like a lot of rivets that you have to rivet on the gun. I mean, like even this trigger guard is riveted to the bottom. I mean, that's kind of good engineering in a way, because it's like indestructible, but I guess if that was to ever break, you can't replace anything, and it makes customizing AKs extremely difficult or expensive because you have to send it somewhere.